Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another educational episode of Embers and Insights. I'm Chris.
And I am Bobby.
And today we're going to do a video based on a blog that we wrote about whiskey and cigar pairing. Are you a fan of this pairing? Or do you like pairing it more so with coffee, if that's what you want to call that?
Knocking my iced coffee that I've had going for the last 8 hours. As you see, the ice is melted.
Like what did Tyler say? Is like now. It's like mud water.
Looking like mud water.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste as good as when I first got it. I will say it depends on the time of day. You know, I'm not a whiskey at 9 a.m. type of guy. So typically, if I'm smoking in the morning, I will have a coffee. But if it is after hours, like it is right now, we will try pairing with some whiskey that we have going here.
Yeah, so we're gonna. I would like to maybe just take like I've said my go-to pairing is coffee. My go-to pairing is a cigar with Dr. Pepper. Actually, a really good pairing. I'm gonna get shit for it, but I don't care. Is cigar and like frozen margaritas.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not really like a big fan of pina colada. Well, no, I am a big fan of pina coladas, especially on cruises. But
how dare you?
What?
They're
Is that
great.
Sacrilegious? Oh, good.
Oh, no, they're great.
All right. I'm glad I got you.
Ripping on pina coladas.
No, I'm glad I got your approval with that because, I was like...
Viewers might think we're twiffs because we're pina coladas, but if you're in the tropics, you got to have your
but like a good margarita during the summertime with a cigar is perfect. This is a go-to pairing, in my opinion, if like bonfire in the fall, in the winter.
Absolutely.
It will definitely warm you up. I think it does pair well. Specifically... I would say more. What is this? Is this like a more of a rye whiskey?
Yeah.
I know there's whiskey and bourbon connoisseurs out there that know the difference between Scotch whiskey, and all of it sometimes just tastes the same to me. Especially when I was in my 20s and just looking to get drunk.
Oh yeah.
It didn't matter what kind of whiskey it was. If it did the job, it did the job. But this is more of a sophisticated episode.
Yes. We'll try to keep it that way.
We'll try to keep it that way. But what I would like to do is just talk about why like whiskey and cigars are a good pairing. And I'm gonna take a few puffs, take a swig, let it sit, and then keep kind of doing that. Because do you think it opens up the whiskey more or the cigar more when you pair them together?
I think it's a bit of both. Some whiskey bourbons are a bit smokier. So if you are, taking a sip after you just have puffed your cigar, it may kind of take more of the smoky notes from the whiskey or the bourbon that you're drinking. You may get a bit more of that. I also think that when the whiskey or bourbon hits your palate, it also kind of accentuates the cigar flavors in some aspects, depending on what you're smoking.
We're also smoking two cigars that we have on the blog that pair well with whiskey.
Yes.
I'm smoking the Monte Cristo 1935 anniversary. This is just, Monte Cristo just doesn't miss, man.
Yeah,
we talked about it a few times.
That one.
Yeah, this one's great. What are you smoking?
And I have the Davidoff Nicaragua. This is the box press Toro.
Nice. Well, cheers, man.
Absolutely. Salute.
It's not bad.
This is solid.
Trying really hard not to make like a stank face. But that's good.
Do we want to tell the viewers what we're drinking? What we're sipping here? So we have a Willet Straight Rye.
Take two.
Yep. So if we want to tell... Jesus Christ.
The whiskey's hitting already. All right. We're drinking a Willet. Willet Rye.
Straight Rye Whiskey.
We're drinking a Willet Rye whiskey. I don't know the proof of it, but man, this went down really smooth. Holy God. Whew. I love it. Uh-oh. All right.
Wait, are we cutting that or keeping that?
No, we're keeping that. We're keeping all that shit. You're keeping all of that.
Okay.
Our cigars are probably are a little bit on the longer side, or in terms of the length, right, and the ring gauge.
Yeah, you're smoking a number 2. I got a Toro going.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know about you. I'm not one to, like I said, if I'm drinking to get drunk, then I'll be chugging. But with something like this, I think you have to take your time. You have to sip. You have to really just enjoy both. And yeah, I want to try it. So I'm going to take I don't know if you want to try and take a puff and then a sip and see what happens.
Yeah, let's go for it.
You say you retrohale a lot, right?
Yeah, I tend to retrohale. Probably not the best for the sinuses, but you know.
I know I made a joke about making like a face. Usually when I am drinking something I don't like, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
That's very smooth.
Yeah, it's really smooth for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's going well with the cigar, man.
I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And I think, you know, just like with a lot of people don't really know when you're smoking a cigar or if you're, and I'm not a sommelier or an aficionado, I would say at this point in my life, but you want to kind of let the smoke of the cigar hit all parts of your mouth. You know, you kind of want to let it get.
I know it sounds silly, but how do you do that? Are you like swooshing it around while it's inside? Like while you inhale? Well, no, while you're puffing, because you're not supposed to inhale cigars. So if you go like I'll do that, right? I'll let it go in the mouth. I'll let it like ruminate.
Yep.
I know when I retrohale correctly because then my nostrils are like on fire.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm like, I'll blow the smoke out of my nose. I'm like, oh, that's not retrohale. That, you know, you're supposed to like kind of like let it sit there for a little bit, and then go.
Yeah, some people say when you retrohale, you're supposed to blow like the final last bits out. So kind of as you're exhaling, you retrohale the last little bits out, so you don't get that full thing, burning sensation.
Yeah.
But I tend to do the same thing as you and just kind of just go straight,
go all in,
go all in, and just torch myself.
What are some What are some other like? What is it? What are some of your other like? Do you like Jack Daniels?
Yeah,
I know. It's a baby whiskey.
It is a baby whiskey. It's an entry whiskey.
Yeah, Jameson as well.
We might get Jameson too. Yeah, you know, we may get some hate on this for not being the biggest connoisseurs of the whiskey, but you know, we got some good stuff going today.
Yeah, we were gifted this good a bottle of this of the Willet, and I think that it would just be good to do a pairing with a really good bottle of whiskey and like two top-notch cigars. Like this cigar has won has landed at like number 2 or 3 on like Cigar Aficionado.
Yes.
I mean, I'm probably being biased, but Davidoff in general.
I think that Davidoff Nicaragua was top 5 on Cigar Aficionado.
But Davidoff just in general, I feel like there's just like Davidoff Padron has like this prestigious reputation.
Yes.
So I feel like if you're enjoying a Davidoff cigar, you might as well enjoy like some of the really top-notch whiskey. Yeah,
and you don't have to go for the most expensive bottle on the shelf, like you were saying, Jameson or a Jack Daniels. You know, I'm a fan of those as well.
Yeah,
you know, they're cheaper alternatives, and they can still go good with your cigar. You know, if you have the budget and you can spend it on a high tier glass or a high tier bottle of good whiskey or bourbon, go for that. But don't shy away from the cheaper stuff too, because it'll still be a good experience. Yeah,
you have Irish whiskey, Scotch whiskey, bourbon. They all fall under a good category of types of whiskey to pair along with cigars, and they all do taste differently. I know for a fact, like bourbon to me is so much sweeter than like a rye or an Irish whiskey.
Yeah, so what we're smoking is a rye. So I mean,
what we're drinking.
Yeah, it's a straight.
You said what we're smoking.
So what we're drinking.
Cheers.
Is a straight rye whiskey. So that kind of for me at least, and what most people say, it kind of accentuates the spice in your cigars. So I am getting a little more spiciness on this when I'm smoking, and when it's just hitting my palate. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same, but it's the straight rye whiskeys, or rye in general, is typically on the more spicier side. So
it's interesting. I just took a sip of whiskey first, and then a puff of the cigar. It was more spicier on my palate.
Okay.
When I'm smoking and then take a sip, I think just the whiskey kind of coats my palate.
Yep.
And it's not as, I guess, harsh.
Yeah.
Or it's not as it's not as like taking the sip of whiskey after a cigar. I feel like it's just like a pow. Like it's just like, here's a flavor bomb all at once. Versus the whiskey kind of like soothing out, I guess, the smoke and the heaviness of this. Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't want to sound weird here, but it's almost like a wine and cheese, wine and chocolate type of thing going on.
No, it's not. I don't think that's weird. Wine and cheese are a perfect pairing. You know, the Monte Cristo number 2 is also 1935 anniversary number 2. It's a Nicaraguan Puro. I've noticed with Nicaraguan Puros, they can tend to be they are very complex, but they are just like a flavor bomb, a spice bomb. there are some notes you'll get like sweet spice, like a cinnamon, earth. I feel like most Nicaraguan puros, or even cigars with like Connecticut broadleaf, I'm tasting like some sort of chocolate. Mm-hmm. And I think it does definitely balances well with like the spiciness and like the I don't want to say harshness, but like the spiciness of a rye.
Yeah, I agree with you totally.
So yeah, I mean, we're just sitting enjoying.
Yeah, I mean the Davidoff Nicaraguan series. This is another Nicaraguan puro.
Yeah.
One of the finest ones that they have out, I believe. I mean, I would say so. I think that it's it's on the medium to full side, so it's complementing what we're drinking here pretty well.
What would you this combination for a beginner might be a little too much.
Yes.
Don't take the whiskey out, but to have something a little bit more medium to full bodied with whiskey for beginners, it might kind of be like a little too much. Mm-hmm. For beginner, what cigar would you recommend right off the bat? Excuse me, right off the bat. I know one, and I'll wait to answer it. I want to give you a chance to answer what you think a nice mellow to medium bodied cigar would be for a beginner if they want to pair a cigar and whiskey.
So I would probably say a good beginner pairing cigar is maybe like a Charter Oak from Foundation, maybe like the Habano Charter Oak. I would say that's probably a good one for a beginner smoker. First time smoker, first time trying to do a pairing. That's probably good. It's not too overpowering on the smoking aspect of it, but you also get to enjoy some of the flavors pairing together with the whiskey or bourbon that you choose.
I would go with the Diamond Crown. With the Connecticut wrapper.
Yeah.
The Diamond Crown from J.C. Newman. Mm-hmm. I think that would pair really well with this. If you're a beginner cigar smoker and you're looking to get into cigars and you enjoy whiskey and you don't want something that might like be a little scary, daunting, I would try the the Diamond Crown by J.C. Newman.
Yeah.
Right? Am I saying it's just a Diamond Crown, right? It's just the Connecticut wrapper?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely go with that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And another one that just kind of crossed my mind was the Romeo 1875. Ooh. Those are classic. The Exhibition number 3 probably one of the ones that is a good intro cigar for a beginner trying to do some pairing. It's not too overpowering again on the palate, so you won't be too daunted by the cigar, but you'll be able to enjoy again the flavors of both the cigar and the whiskey without going crazy.
Yeah, those are a few good cigars that I think I definitely would recommend. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was a little skeptical about doing this because I've never done whiskey and cigar on camera.
This is my first time
I
too.
didn't want to No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, it was it's definitely, I think it's like the ultimate state of relaxation when you combine these two.
For sure.
I guess if you're having cigar and coffee, it's coffee isn't really meant to relax you. It's supposed to give you a jolt and wake up. Whiskey is very, very relaxing. I know, or if I mix a whiskey like a Jack and Coke, I love Jack and Coke.
Yep.
That with a cigar, you get a bunch of different flavors. And to me, it's really not over dominating the palate.
No.
It's really not. So it's really...
I think it complements it, if anything.
Yes, yeah.
I know everyone has their preference. People like to just do things straight, whether it's drinking something straight, but I've had great smoking experiences with a Crown and Coke or a Jack and Coke as well, where it's complemented the cigar. If you're having multiple cigars in a day, it may kind of muddy your palate a bit, which is just, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, I'm not like you said, you don't drink whiskey. I think you made a joke earlier. Not having a morning whiskey. But yeah, I feel like this combination is perfect for the end of day, like after work, after dinner. A whiskey, you can even say cognac or rum, but like a whiskey and cigar is a perfect evening treat for you, vacation treat.
Yeah.
It is meant for total relaxation.
For sure.
So.
And I mean, if you are a 9 a.m. whiskey drinker, we're not hating on you.
I mean, yeah, you gotta get
somewhere.
You gotta get through golf.
Exactly.
Or being a parent. Or no, I'm kidding. You gotta get through something at 9 a.m. If you need that little whiskey and coffee.
No,
I'm messing with you. I'm messing.
At this point, these coffees are just trying to keep us normal.
Yeah.
I think they don't think they even do the jolt thing that you said before. I think they're just
I don't know.
On,
yeah, I mean,
it's more of a habitual thing for me at this point.
I think I've noticed with coffee, like I'll never do it. I'll never drive to work without my cup of coffee.
Oh,
because it's a sin. So coffee definitely gives me like the boost. But I've noticed, when I'm at work, I have my ritual of like, okay, I'm gonna have a morning coffee. If I'm really desperate, I'll have a second morning coffee.
Yep.
I'll have lunch, and then like around 1 or 2 o'clock, I need my little nice cup of coffee. When I'm home and I'm like kind of like working straight through, not worried about lunch, and 2 o'clock, I'm like, why am I so tired right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I've only had one cup of coffee right now.
That's when it'll hit you for sure.
But in our meetings in the morning, man, coffee and cigars, there's nothing
Top
tier. There really is nothing better.
Top tier.
Where do you like, what are some activities you like having whiskey and cigar with? Poolside, golfing?
I would say, if you're really having a reckless day on the golf course, you're not shooting too well, the whiskey might come out. You might not be having that 6-pack. You might be asking for some whiskey, at the turn there,
pulling shooters out of your pocket,
or if you got some shooters in the bag, you get them past the starter. Go right ahead.
They check you. They check you when you golf.
So there's courses where they do, and most courses do. If they sell alcohol, they do check. I do have a few courses that I play at that don't have a clubhouse that serves liquor or alcohol. So I have seen some guys go out there with full bottles. I don't know how shit-faced they're getting.
This is what everyone tells me about golf. Ready? You go with your buddies. You get absolutely wrecked on the golf course with cigars, with any alcohol, and you come back and you're like, all right, all is right with the world. No one cares what they're shooting. And everyone who tells me about golf, they're rarely like sober when they're golfing. So, I mean, I don't know why everyone hates Tiger Woods for that regard.
Hey,
no, I'm kidding.
No.
Bad joke.
It's...
but seriously, it's like... I'm
with you on that.
I feel like it's a staple with golfing. You bring a few beers out. You bring a few cigars out. Or you bring some whiskey if you want.
Yeah, it is. And most of the people that I golf with, I mean, if I'm playing, in an outing, or if we're playing a scramble or something fun, I'll tend to drink a little bit. But I'm too damn competitive to be shit faced out there. But I know a lot of people that are not the best golfers, and I'm not anything special myself. Yeah. But they'll just go and just have fun with the boys. They just want to go and drink and just have that relaxation for 4 hours and just kind of get after it.
Yeah.
But some other good places are, like you mentioned earlier, around the bonfire at night in the fall. If you're on a camping trip, summertime,
down the shore. Bonfire down the shore, either on the beach or at your beach house. Whiskey, cigar. I think that's a perfect thing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is our whiskey and cigar pairing episode. Like I said, please check out the blog on our website. It gives you a little more in-depth on different types of whiskeys and cigars to pair. Like I said, we both grabbed a cigar to smoke and pair with this rye whiskey. I think it's pairing beautifully right now. I wish I could stay longer to do it, but gotta wrap it up soon. But yeah, no, this is a perfect. If you're new to cigar smoking, I fully recommend trying this pairing. It's different, for the non-alcoholic drinkers out there, like we've mentioned, coffee, water, soda.
Yep.
But this goes hand in hand. A lot of people I know, a lot of bourbon drinkers I know, whiskey drinkers I know, always love having a cigar with it. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching this another educational podcast on Embers and Insights. I'm Chris.
And I'm Bobby.
And thank you guys for watching.